Hey guys, this is going to be a short video of how I mounted an XS650 gas tank onto a Honda Nighthawk while I'm making the Walking Dead replica bike for my son-in-law. So it's a popular tank and it actually fits and looks really good on the bike, but there's a few things. So I'm going to pull the tank off and then I'm going to show some measurements of stuff I did, and hopefully you guys will find it useful. Okay, so for putting this tank on this bike, there's really some things that are going to tell you where the tank goes no matter what. First, if you look at the bike on the Walking Dead bike, when you put the petcock in there, it's only going to go, it's going to have to go right up against the frame. So that's going to tell you that where kind of the back of the tank's going to be to start with. It kind of made it easy for me because the tank, the frame bends in this way. So you can only bring this tank back so far. There's only so much you can do. So I have this right up against here to start with. And then I use that as a point. Now also too, this tank, the way it sits over the hump, to make it kind of level, it's gonna almost touch the motor. So what I basically did is I sat it down there and then I kind of raised it up and propped it and took some measurements there. So now I got the tank off, and on the stock 650 you're going to have two supports for the tank to come out here and here. And then on the new tank, on the 650 tank, you're just going to have these round steel inserts, whatever you want to call them, that just stick out. So kind of what I did, and I haven't cleaned this up yet because I didn't know if we were going to go with this, is I just cut some pipe and I kind of opened it up and I test fit it so that it fits real tight around here like a C. So it kind of just goes on like that. And then I measured the tank, got it level where I wanted. I tack welded this in, and then I'll clean this up later. And then when that was done, we come to the mount. And then once I got the tank, I centered the tank. And then I decided where the support is right here on this tank. I raised it up to take in the gap, and then I'm just running a long bolt, and that seemed like it worked out pretty good. So like I said, I raised it up a little bit because you can see it's touching there, and then I got this inch and a half, whatever it was, I put that in there. I'm going to make a little rubber bushing that kind of gets this so it's not metal on metal, it's not metal on metal when it's touching, and then I just have an oversized washer that just goes down through that, and it's mounted. So really, this tank dictates where it's going to sit, like I said, and overall because of this, that petcock is going to have to go all the way back. When I was doing it, I was initially looking at this. I never build a bike or mess with this kind of stuff without having the front end installed, but unfortunately with classified moto having, 3 to 4 week turnaround time, I just had to get the bike moving. My son-in-law was a little anxious and it was just going to take too long to wait. And I kind of guessed at it with the stock stuff that I had, and I really feel pretty comfortable that it's in the right spot. So that gets the tank mounted. And as you can see in here, the little half pieces, I don't know how good you can see, the tank just sits in there, nestled in there, and then it's nice and tight. So when this is pushed up in there, and it's screwed down, the tank can't go anywhere. And I think it's going to work out good. So where to cut the frame on this? So I kind of eyed it, but I'm trying to give an actual number in inches so you kind of get an idea of what I did. So there's a bracket right here that's got a bend in it, it's a straight line. You put a square on it, and if you kind of look right here, right where it's at, there's 4 inches. So if you come up off this line to here, there's 4 inches. That's going to be the best guesstimate. But I'm going to tell you, going this route, you're probably going to go with a custom-made seat because of this. This is going to be short. It looks like the seat pan is going to be about 21 inches, if I think I remember the thing. And most of the seats I've been looking at are 23 to 25, which really ain't no big deal if you want to go that route. I'm just saying, cosmetically, the way they built this bike, there's not that many times when you build a bike that you're following somebody else's, things. Usually you're building it to your likings. So for me, following this, that's what it is, and that's what I kind of think it is. And I want the bike, I want the seat to sit where I see part of the frame. I don't want it to over it. So, and I want it to follow this line right there, because I think that's what that Ray Bird seat that they used on the Walking Dead bike, he did. Anyways, hope that helps, guys. So if you look at how I kind of squared it to show you what the length of this tube is from here to here, how I shortened it, it comes in at about 6 inches. You know, it was ultimately, God, it was probably this long, you know, when I got it. It was definitely overextended on length. All right, guys, and kind of final, these numbers that I've come out with the length and where I've chopped the frame and etc. When I originally did it, I did everything by looks compared to pictures. I didn't have any kind of numbers to go off of. So basically, I'm just trying to find some points on the bike where I can give you guys lengths to use on what length I cut the tube at and where I cut it at and so forth. Everything else, I just went by looks and, you know, and lining stuff up. So I think it's really pretty close. And like I was saying, is that this is going to be for a stock seat. Now, if you're not going to build a seat pan, you know, when you build these bikes, it doesn't have to be exact. And I've seen these guys run stock size seats on these bikes. And let me tell you, very few people can tell the difference. So it's apples and oranges whether you want to go this route. If you just want to go with a nicer seat, go with the Tough Side company. I'm going to put a link to them on this video. He also sells this tube. And just so you know that this tube is outer is 9 inches. And now that's just for the Nighthawks, because different bikes and different make bikes, they make a few different size tubes. And, you know, this is outer to outer is 9 inches. And I think they have 8s. They're smaller. I think Honda has like a small frame and a big frame from what when I was looking at. But he sells the tubes, and it just makes it real easy, because you're never going to bend something like that without a professional, you know, without a JD2 bender or something like that. It's going to cost you more than probably the bike to get it set up. And his custom seats are handmade in stock. I've seen them. They're really well quality. So it's, you know, overkill. The only difference you would do with this bike is you would find out the length of the seat, and you would just make this a couple inches longer, you know. When I started doing this, he was nice enough to give me a seat pan so I could kind of give it for reference. And if you could see, you would just have to make this a couple inches longer. And I'm telling you, nobody would really know. I mean, this bend, what I'm trying to do, realistically, the seats that most people, they narrow, just like you can see with his seats, they narrow. So it's going to hide a lot of that stuff. I just want it to be specifically like this. And, you know, it's my preference, and everybody else has their preference. And, you know, some people don't want to build a seat pan. So I totally get that, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to do that. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. And any other dimensions of everything I'm going to try to post. If you guys want, let me know. Thanks, guys.